So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream. As you can see, the Amazon Gremlin has struck again. I'm doing quite well with the Amazon Gremlin, but I had seen a couple of things that I thought I might like. So without further ado, da, da, da. Yes, it's pink. Now, I have opened it. It did arrive in a bag. And this is the URTO 80 slot PU leather marker rose red. And it says no markers in there. No markers in there. And the reason I bought this is to put my babies in. Sorry about the noise, guys. So we have, and it's not the same size. I don't know why I thought it might be the same size, but this is slightly smaller. This is a slightly smaller scale. It's the same width, I think, as the others, but it's the same height. It's just slightly shorter. So, gosh, and we're having a heat wave in the UK at the minute, so it's a little bit warm. So let's just open this. So this one has double zips. Now I have put things in here. And this is what I wanted, because when you open this side, and this is the first time I've opened it. So when we open it this way, we have the markers. And if you open it, I'll open the other section. This. How I've arranged it, and of course, if you get one, you can arrange it how you like. Let's see if I can get this as square as possible. So I've arranged it that I've got my rotary pens on this side for drawing my mushrooms. I've got my pencils and water spray and water brushes on that side. I've got my Graduate Series 55 and Riggers in this one. And I've got my Series 55 and Series 11 in this one. And these are the Graduate Daler Rowney ones. And then in here, and I've actually found another couple of Winsor Newton Series 11. And this one is a 00, so it must be one of my favourite sizes. And this is the one that has the 99p on it. So it's got 99p. And I found it in Jowett and Surrey, and it's a Series 7. And as I say, I did say to them, and this is before they finished. It's probably in the 80s. And I said, I don't think that should be 99p. And no, it is. I went, I didn't think it should be 99p. And they said, no, it is. So I bought it for 99p. I did, as I say, I did give them a chance. I gave them 2 chances. So I've actually got 3 00s. And I've also found a Series 33 sable. So because it's a bit thicker than this one, I bobbed it in. And I've also found another 3. So 3 and 0 must have been my favourite things. So these are my Series 7. And on this side, I've got my Riggers and 2 sables. So all my sable ones are in here. And then I found this one. I've gone through all my paintbrushes and found all sorts of things. This one is a Series 3A Designers Sable Winsor Newton. And it's quite a nice point, is that. Probably use that, although I do have quite a few for my oils. So they're a little bit squished in there actually, but, and this is another one I found. This one is a Series 16 number 2 Winsor & Newton sable, and they go to a point. Again, I've had this one since I was at college, Jacob Cromer Art College in Leeds. That's definitely nearly 40 years old. So haven't used it very much. So my sable ones are in here, and I've arranged my colours in my favourite colour order. So we've got yellows, oranges, reds, pinks, purples, blues, greens. And then on the back, I've got browns and blacks. So if I'm doing something sepia or something in a tonal black and white or grey and white, I've got this section open. But normally, it's very rare I use these apart from a couple of browns and the sienna and the yellow ochre. So I know that they're on that side, but these are kind of easy to get to. And I decided to leave them this way because they're easy to put in and put out. And this is what I need. I need them to be easy. I have actually put them all in name order as well, because I'm a bit of a... I just like things in order because it's easier. If I go to a red and I want a pinkier red, I'm going to go that way. And if I want an orangey red, I'm going to go this way. And I do that with all sorts of things. Now, I did get all my rotarings in here. Some have got white and some have got dark. They're not going to come out. I haven't put them in with the little clips, which I could do if I wanted. When this hangs, it hangs upside down. So they kind of all flop, but it doesn't really matter. If I could put them that way, I suppose, if I wanted. I could put them that way if I wanted, because, as I say, when it shuts, everything's upside down. But, as I say, it doesn't really bother me. They're not going to go anywhere. I've got my number 18, and I've put a little bit of sticky on the bottom because I know these have got white in them. So if I put that one there, and I'm going to put a blue one on there. I've got some little labels. So I've got my rotary ink, and believe me, they'll last about maybe a week of continuous use if they're full. That's a long drawing, is that? I've got some pencils. I'm sorting out some erasers, and I have bought with the Amazon Gremlin. Also bought me this 10-win electric eraser, and I bought it because it had some diddies. It has some small, and I've put them in this little pocket here. So in here are the two different connectors. Now they're plastic, they're not like Winsor & Newton, but let me think. In theory, this is going to be quite either perfect match or not. So that's my Winsor & Newton metal one, and that's the plastic one. And there's a smaller one for the smaller. So that's the big one, and that's the small one. So let's see if we can put that small one in there. It doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. But that's my my Derwent. All mine are a bit dirty, so I've got some clean ones in there. And this is the pencil set for pencils and for my huge markers and my sketching pencils. So they'll be going in there. So that's what this one looks like. This is the 10-win. I haven't got a battery in it. This is the one that goes with the little tiny ones here. So I put those in this little pouch, and that's going to be going in here. And this one, as I broke it the minute I opened it, I broke it. I dropped it and broke the plastic, but it still works perfectly all right. I think this one probably will be going in here somewhere. I think it does go. It's quite a wide strap. Depends on what happens. It may have to sit at the side because I have my pens. But the middle, and I think this was, I'll have a look at the price in a second. This one actually arrived with a piece of foam in it that was quite thick. So it comes nicely packaged. This is the foam that came in here. So that means, although I've got the markers, oops, sorry guys, I've got a bit to play with. So that sits quite nicely. And then I've got my other watercolor things as well. Because what I don't think I can get a sketchbook in here, but that's fine. I can get a small one because again, there was a space at this side. So that's how it's going to look. And it shuts quite nicely with this strap. And I do like the idea that if I just want to use the markers, so there's still quite a lot of wiggle room in there. There is a little bit of wiggle room in there. Just if I wanted to put a sketchbook, not quite an A5, but a sketchbook would go in there. Sorry, not quite an A4, beg your pardon, printer paper. This one is perfect because it has my drawings in here. So I can just maybe slip that one in there. Because again, I don't have those markers. And this is about as thick as a marker. So because I don't have those markers, let's see if we can get that in there. I don't want to put too much pressure on it. Oops, my hands don't work very well. Yeah, I mean, it's stuffed now. It's stuffed. Oh, hands. But when you see what's in here, so we've got water brushes, the spray, and I'm going to get that little thin water pot that I have that's very thin. That will go in there. I've got all my rotary pens for drawing. I've got my markers for my watercolours, and I've got my riggers and my cheaper watercolour brushes that I use, and then I've got my sable. Then I've got my darks and a sketchbook. Now, I probably wouldn't put this thick sketchbook in, but I'm playing about with the colours and mushroom toadstools and things. So I know I can get something in there. The other thing I was going to put in there was the plastic palette. I kind of like the plastic palette, so that would be going, probably put that in the middle, I think. Oh no, I might put it at the end there. So the plastic palette will go in there as well. And again, I love my Derwent art bags, but I wanted to get, I like the fact that when I open it up, they're all together. And it just makes things a little bit easier. So there's no reason why, if I was out somewhere, I'd have my brushes out. I could technically, not when to shut it, but before it, when I was using it, I just bob that there. And have my brushes to the side. And I can use that as a palette. So that's actually quite a good idea, that. So this is, it will hold it open because this is rigid. So I kind of like that idea. So I've got my brushes. You can leave your brushes sticking out there. And they look like they're just there ready to get. If I push that one in there very carefully, that means I can get to the, these are a bit loose because there's quite a few in there. Yeah, that works quite well. Don't need to be at that side. Well, the other thing to do with that is to just slip it there. That's probably better. That's probably better so that I can work with it here. Yeah, I'm sure it'll work. It's just so that I have one little pouch with a handle, and it has a nice handle on it as well. So it basically has a loose section that you just hold, and obviously not going to be too rough with it, but I kind of zip it round. And I put these little poppy things on. I bought quite a few because, like all zipped pencil cases, they like to pop down the side. A lot of them do. I haven't worked out what that's for yet. I think it's for holding it. I can't remember what that's for now. I just can't remember. I did remember what that was for, and I can't. So they're okay at this side because, and you can just kind of get hold of this and pull it like this. And that looks to have Velcro on it. That's Velcro. So, oh, there's Velcro. Right, so that's Velcroed there. So that's actually really nice. That means even if the zip opens, nothing's going to happen. And again, I kind of like that because you don't want to lose these markers. But on the other end here, when it's open, the zips go down here like they normally would because the zips go right round. So I've put the little poppies so they don't do that. And again, I like the zips. I'm not sure how they'll hold up. I know they scratch quite easily because I scratched my other one, but they have the carry handle on and they have the strap on. And I love the fact that these clips are quite easy to use as well. So when we pull the zips around the back, they're not going to go down there now because they've got this little poppy clasp that I've put on. So that's the handle. And then we can open them up. Now you can hear the Velcro. That's the Velcro holding the back. So you can unzip one side. So if I was just drawing, I could just leave that other zipped up and it would just open this bit for me. So let me just do that a second. So if I was just using, that's what the Velcro is for then. So I can open this, and this is like a pouch. So they're all in here. But I don't have to open it fully. Oh, that looks quite good. Look at that. So that actually works really well. So I've got my pens. That actually really works quite well. I didn't know you could do that. So this, because I haven't got this bit, I mean, and I can still get to what I want. So you could get this out and put this in there. I would have those in that section, I think. I'll put my paintbrushes in the middle because that's where I decided to put them. And so that sits quite nicely like that. So you've got pencils and you've got pens. I kind of like that. Yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. And then if you didn't want to open that section, zip this one. Let me see what I mean about the little tags going down here. They're easy to get to. They kind of go down there. Actually, they can't go far, but I thought they could. But they're easy for me to get hold of. So we'll zip that one up. And there's a little handle. We'll turn it round and then we'll lay it down again. And then we'll use this one and we'll lift this one up. So I'm going to tend to put some, I was going to put some paintbrushes on here because that's why I bought it. And the paintbrushes I wanted to put in, I've been with these, but I think they're a little bit big. They were a little bit big with these. I've had my paintbrushes in here. So I could put, I've got these paintbrushes. So I intended to put, I think this one is the right size. Because it sits quite nicely in there. as all my other riggers. So that was a Pro Art one. I think that was a bit long, that one. Let's quickly put these in here then. So, and that one's a bit long. That's a wedge one. I'm just going to put my small ones. So my riggers that I use, these are the Aqua De Lorone Aqua Fine. I've got a 6, a 4 and a 2. So they'll go in one section. And I want them just to clear the top so they don't get damaged. Then I have some Pro Art with the gold section here. So we've got Pro Art 103, and I've got, that's the 101. So they're 101, but I'm going to put those together, I think. So we've got some more there. See, I want to get rid of all my pots, all the pots I have here. I want to get rid of them all so that all the paintbrushes are together. And because I use these more together, I've got a bit of fiddling to do to get them where you want them. And that's another 101, I think. But even if they slide about a bit, they're not going to go anywhere because that's the 101 as well. And then we've got the Winsor Newton Cotman Aquafine. And I've got, I think, 3 or 4 of those. So 3 of those. There's a 4, a 3 and a 3. But they're always quite handy, those. So I don't want to force them too much in case I decide to use this for other markers. I can put those in there. That's a really old brush I've had a long time, but it's still quite fluffy. So I'm going to put that one at the end. Then these are the ones I bought from the Model Railway Show, and these are the Italia 5166 516. So 51261, 51266, and 51264. So we've got a 30, a 1, and a 3. And again, that's the ones that I quite like. They're the ones that I like. So you've got like 3 different ones. So they're going to go next. And again, I need to pick this up if I'm going to do any colouring in my colour books. This is another one from Jarrett and Sarah that I've had quite a long time. So I'm going to put that one in that one. I've got a couple of Pro Art 201s and a Pro Art 202. So I'm just going to put, and that one's a Pro Art 100. So they're more of a rounder brush than a rigger. And then these are all, that's a rounder brush as well, so we'll pop you in there. It says Pro Art Acrylic, that one. I might have to move that one. And then these are just 3 that I'll stick in there. So that's okay. I can live with that. What else have we got here? There's a couple of pony hair ones. There's another Winsor Newton Cotman Aquafire, that one. This is a wedge. That's quite a nice little... So I'm going to put a wedge on that side. I've got a couple of other wedges in here. This is a lovely one. I don't know if it'll go in. It might do. That's another wedge that can go in there. There's another couple of Aquafine ones. In fact, I think I'll put the Aquafine ones in here. And I think some of these I might use for the acrylic work because they're quite fine. And what else we've got in here? Another Cotman. That's a tiny spotter. I've got 2 pony hair ones. I'll put those in there. Sometimes you've just got to kind of go through your brushes and find what you've got. There's another wedge there, so I'm going to put that in there. This one is a filbert. And I think I'm going to put that one in there. I think that's part of this set. This is a set that I think they're about £10, the Royal Langley. I'm going to put that in my acrylic one. These are tiny kind of spotter ones. That looks like it's a Pro Art. That's a Sable Synthetic, and that's a Winsor Newton. That one wants to go in here, I think. I can put those few odd ones in there. There's another pony hair one. I think this is a pony hair. Pro Art Squirrel Hair. These are quite fluffy ones, so I'm going to put a few of these in, and there's another pony hair one there. Quite fluffy. What else have we got? There's another couple of kind of fine ones. I'm going to put this in that one as well. That's an acrylic one. So I'm going to have a box for my acrylic and oil. It's just sometimes you pick up a blooming paintbrush and it's a watercolor one, and I kind of just look at the edges. The next minute I realize that I've just ruined a nice paintbrush. So sometimes I want the idea is that I can look on here and think, yeah, these are all my watercolor ones, and then go somewhere else and think, right, okay, these are all for my acrylics. I did want that one in there, but it's a little bit big, some of these, this set here. But there's no reason, you can't read, I think that says Pro Art. I've had some quite a long time. Once they start going to a point, that's when I can think, okay, then I'm going to put them in for the acrylics. So I've got quite a few watercolor brushes, and I've got these that I haven't, I've never used these. They're like a water brush, and you twist the end to fill them with water. So I might have a play with those. And that's another little wedge one, which would be quite good. So put that one in there. You do need a couple of little wedgy ones, but the height is restricting me a little bit. But actually, that's quite good. This is a nice one. This has got half hairs on it, so it's thin. It's had some hairs taken out, so it's thinner. I think he can be just bobbed in there, and I'm just going to put that one in there. So definitely think I have enough paintbrushes there. I don't need any more. Quick look at these. Again, that's a 5-0, but I do have some fine ones, so I don't need that one. I can put that. I just don't want to use, and that's another Pro Art on there. I'll put that back. I think they're okay. Paintbrushes are a little bit cheaper than they used to be. So I'll put my paintbrushes away. So I have sorry, my table's a bit skew with. So I have some riggers and my watercolor brushes. I've got my markers, more markers, a palette, my Series 7 Winsor Newton nice pencils. I've got my 2 lots of riggers, Series 11 Art Master pearls. They're my favourite for colour books. And then I've got my my Rotring with white ink, blue ink and black ink. And the inks come in little packages like this. So this is Rotring. It's drawing ink, drawing ink for tracing paper and line board. And it's an ink specially designed for these rotary isograph mechanical pencils. And I absolutely love them. And I've put some white in, and I'm really impressed that this white will go over acrylic. So I don't need a Posca pen. And of course, I don't have to refill it. I mean, I can refill it because I've got the ink. So anything that's refillable is a tight Yorkshire. I love that. So that's my little section. So if we do it like, we can do that. Yeah, do it like that. So that becomes like a little pocket, and it's velcroed here, there. But I think that goes together as long as you don't overstuff it. As I say, because I had this section here, and I'm going to turn the paintbrushes the other way, because when we shut this, the paintbrushes, the handles at this side, so they'll be upside down. So I will change that. But I actually quite like the fact that I've got some paintbrushes in here. Far too many paintbrushes, but at least I want them all in the same place. Now I may try and I may buy another one of these, so that because I have a lot of paintbrushes. I have an awful lot of paintbrushes, so I think I'm going to use this particular thing today. So I'm going to open it up properly and leave it open. And I like the fact that this comes out of the way. This is the middle section. So again, I love the fact that comes out the way. I would think, in theory, you could bring it round and you can Velcro it out the way. So actually, that was quite a nice. It's going to give me a nice. I like an easy palette to work. So I've got the colours and I've got a palette, and I kind of like that. That's going to be an easy way to work for me. You can put it underneath, so it's near. You can put it in the middle. So thanks for watching. That's my unboxing of my new marker pink pencil case. It's a UTR 80 slot marker pencil case. So thanks for watching.